punt by going. And now your philosophy has to be, let's don't make any more serious mistakes. We'd like to get something going, but protect the football.
Yeah, I would think if they're going to get something going, I think they want to get it going in the second half, not right now.
Yesterday we spoke to Brian Cox about how he mentally prepares himself to play.
As simple as, telling myself that they cut me off in traffic. They did something to me early in the week that I just kind of bottled until Sunday and decided to take the cork off. Or as extreme as saying that someone did something violent to my mom or did kidnap my kids, did something to my wife, and you kind of make it personal so that you can get yourself psyched up to defend yourself and your family.
That's kind of personal.
Well,
Raymond Harris.
What he says is that you have to manufacture emotion. He's the only player in this league that I know or have ever heard of that manufactures emotion.
I never was very good at that. Were you?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, but it was a different kind. Yeah. No. Just it was always there. I don't know when it. Yeah, it wasn't there. Something would click it on.
Raymond Harris, in the meantime, picks up the first down, and the Bears are at their own 43. Cowboys leading 7-3.
And the Bears do have 2 timeouts left.
Here comes the reverse, and the Cowboys read it pretty well. Chris Penn ran the reverse.
And the guy that read it was Darren Woodson. I think, Darren Woodson is one of the best defensive players in football. And he doesn't always get the credit, because you don't always get that. But here they're going to be running the reverse to this side. And Darren Woodson is going to get right up in here. You see he starts across. Now watch him. He sees a reverse. Now he knows you got to contain it. You can't go to where it was. You have to go to the outside and make everything break back to the inside.
And Broderick Thomas, because of that play by Woodson, made the tackle.
Right, because if you don't contain a reverse, then it gets around the corner on you.
Here's Harris again. Okay. Stopped after a yard by Fred Strickland. He missed a couple of weeks in practice in the last game. Coming up, the Dockers Khakis halftime report, and JB and Terry will be along with all the scores and highlights from around the league. Tampa Bay remained unbeaten, but just barely. That's all coming up at the half.
I think this is an interesting season.
Yeah.
Just the way the games are played, and there's different teams coming up. Like you say, the Tampa Bay being undefeated, Green Bay, the defending champions.
Jacksonville losing for the first time to the Redskins. All of a sudden, the Redskins are 3-1.
Yeah, the Redskins. We talked about ex-coaches from Dallas. Norv Turner had a big win today, but I think it's kind of an exciting start to a season.
Remember back in preseason, we thought at that time the best teams we had seen were perhaps Denver, and they're still unbeaten, and maybe Jacksonville. They lost today.
I told you a week or so ago I talked to Don Shula, and I asked him best team he saw, and he thought it was Denver Broncos. Here comes a Hail Mary.
Maybe.
Nope. Got to go away from it.
Meyer being chased. Chris Penn, the intended receiver. Meyer could get nothing on the throw. He was pedaling backwards. Both quarterbacks been chased pretty well. Sanders goes back deep.
I don't even know. There's no defense. Dallas doesn't have a defense out there. They better take a timeout. Dallas didn't have any players out there. They had like 5 guys out there in the field. They had a guy here, and Deion Sanders is deep on one knee. They only had like 4 players out there. If they would have snapped the ball, they wouldn't have had any return guys.
6 seconds left in the first half. You're right. How about if you just snap it and take off with it?
They could have. But Dallas was over on the side. They were talking about something, and then there's no reason to have you have to check against the faker. I remember once I had this situation. We're playing Detroit, and I told Ray Guy, I said, just run the clock out. I mean, there's only 6 seconds. Just run around there and run the clock out. Then I thought, no, I didn't want him to do it. I said, snap it to Van Egan, the fullback. Van Egan, they snapped it to him. Detroit turned it back, and he ran it. He ran like 70 yards for a touchdown.
They could have done that to Dallas just then. Now with 6 seconds, they do punt. Deion Sanders lets it bounce. The ball goes into the end zone, and that should be the end of the first half. No more time on the clock. That's the end of the first half with the score Dallas 7, Chicago 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers Khakis halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Look who's moving into Melrose.
Can I buy you a drink?
Half. At the end of the half, I should say, Dallas leads the Bears 7-3. And it's hard to say that things have gone according to plan when it's 7-3, but this is pretty much the way the Bears hoped they'd be able to execute in this game. Stay close.
Yeah, well, we talked to Dave Wanstead last night. That's what he said. You know, if we can stay close, control the ball, take them into the fourth quarter, that we can possibly win the game in the fourth quarter, but we can't get in a shootout. And so far, they haven't gotten in a shootout.
No, they played conservatively at the end of the first half. Let's look at some stats from the first half now. Neither team able to accomplish a lot when they had the ball. Rushing yards for the Bears were 91. That's not bad.
You know, and this was really the only thing that the Cowboys did. Remember that interception by Kevin Smith and on that slant, and that got them to good field position. They got the touchdown. Emmitt Smith can't do anything. Look, he's run to the left one time, 1 yard, up the middle 5 times for 10 yards, and to the right they haven't run to the right yet. And I don't understand when you have a guy like Eric Williams why you don't get in there behind him. But now the guy that did carry of the offense that the Bears had, the guy that did carry that was Raymond Harris. Ran left 3 times for 18 yards, 13 times in the middle. That's the area that they're working for 47 yards, 4 times to the right for 16 yards. I mean, this guy's been a real workhorse.
And Troy Aikman has taken a pounding in the first half. He's been hit a lot, been thrown off the back foot, and really hasn't been able to throw with much success at all.
Well, if you look at this is the pass rush we're talking about. Only 1 time did they go in normal pass rush. That's where they just bring 4. They blitzed Troy Aikman 17 times. So they blitzed him 17 out of 18 times. And look at this. They hurried him 11 times, and they knocked him down 10 times. Although he only had 1 sack in that first half, he was really beaten around because he was getting hit as he threw the ball. He was getting forced to throw it before he wanted to. All those kinds of things.
And a couple of times he really got hit hard. He took a pounding. The kickoff. Sauer run to kick it off, and Herschel Walker is the man they'd like to handle it. And he says, I got it, a yard deep in the end zone. Herschel out of bounds at the 35.
Now we talk about the hits that Troy Aikman took, and we know that every time they were blitzing, and here's some of the hits. I mean, that's the old high-low there. But again, you can see that they're bringing linebackers, they're bringing defensive backs, and every time that he gets ready to step up, he's getting hit, so he can't step up. So now he's starting to step backward, you know, just stepping back, because anytime he steps up, they're just unloading on him.
He's going to be sore tomorrow. Here comes the blitz. Emmitt Smith gets the carry. This is his top run of the day as he gets 9, maybe 10 yards, close to first down yardage.
You know, the first series the team comes out, you can always tell what their halftime adjustments are. You know, that they were able to look at the Polaroids, they were able to get on the blackboard, they were able to do things, and now they want to get in an I formation and just get the ball to the outside. See, usually they run inside. This time they flip it to the outside, have Moose Johnson lead, go off Mark Tuinei's block, and get outside that, because most of the pressure and the rush and the run blitzes have been coming inside or up the middle.
2nd and 1. They'll run it again. Smith gets the first down, close to midfield.
You can see Barry Minter in there, number 92, right here. The guy had such a big half in the first half. You can see that his ankle is taped now, that they took him off. Remember, he went off just before halftime. And you can look at that left ankle. They taped it right over the shoe, and he's having a tougher time taking on the blocks and holding that hole now because he can't put that left foot in the ground and anchor when you take on a blocker.
That was Dallas' first rushing first down today. At their own 49. No flags. Aikman back to throw. Michael Irvin is open, and he's out of bounds at the Bears' 32-yard line. Another first down for the Cowboys.
See, that's part of the adjustments that we're talking about. Is you run at them, and then you get them to anchor in, then you think it's run, and then you get them isolated out here when they get 8 men up where they think they have to stop the run, and then you can just play catch out there with your wide receiver.
They're the Bear 27, the Cowboys. They lead 7-3. First drive of the third quarter. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Easy. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
You hear that umpire? He's the official right behind the defensive line, and when they start to blow the whistle, he's starting to yell, easy, easy. There aren't many things that you do in the National Football League when you're on defense or offense or blocking or big old E down there that are easy. But when it's all over, when the whistle blows, then you have to go from going as hard as you can, as hard as you've ever gone, to nothing.
2nd and 8. Schultz. Flag on the play. That's Johnson. The Moose. Tackled by Ryan Cox.
I think this is going to be against the Bears. I think Jim Flanagan jumped in there. Dave Wanstead said those are the things that kill you. But again, I think the linebacker behind him faked the blitz, and I think that's what made Flanagan jump. Now, Troy Aikman has a decision here. Do you take the play or do you take the penalty? He wants to see if it's a first down.
Dave Wanstead with his 0-4 start. Maybe feeling a little bit of pressure in Chicago.
Before Troy Aikman decides whether he wants to take the penalty or not, he wants to know if he has a first down. If they have a first down, they'll decline the penalty. Now, if they're short, I'm not sure what they're going to do. I would take the penalty.
They're going to decline it.
Well, they wouldn't do what I would do. Yeah, this is one of the pre-snap. Now here's the guy that jumps. I'm sure it's Flanagan that they call, and you're going to see the linebacker come up to fake a blitz. You see when he comes up there like that, I think that he felt that a little. You know, and then the guy was behind him, and then he jumped. But in any case, it was Flanagan who jumped.
Offsides, defense, number 91, penalties decline, 3rd down.
John Theory was the man. Just started to say Dave's been feeling a little bit of heat in Chicago, although he's still a popular head coach for the Bears. But he is still very frustrated as Aikman sneaks ahead and appears to have gotten the first down.
Yeah, see, that's why, you know, the Dallas Cowboys haven't been real good in short yardage, and I would have thought that, you know, 2nd and 5 would have been better than 3rd and 1, but they decided they were going to run a quarterback sneak. And over the years, the Cowboys haven't been a big sneak team. Remember, for years, Troy Aikman had trouble with concussions, and the first thing you have to do when you run a quarterback sneak is a quarterback has to lead with his head. There's Ernie Zampese right here, the offensive coordinator who calls those plays.
That was sort of a walking sneak.
Well, he went on a quick count, and the Bear defense wasn't set.
2 tight ends. Bjornsson on the right, LaFleur on the left. Aikman back to throw.
When the Cowboys have adjusted, they're starting to pick up. Their pass protection is better, and Troy Aikman has time, but it hasn't sunk in his head yet. He doesn't know that he has time, and I think that he's still rushing things a little because that could have or should have been a touchdown.
Very close.
But you know, when you don't have any success picking up the blitz in the first half and you get knocked around all the time, you kind of rush things in the second half, and when you rush it, that ball tends to go low on you.
Smith on 2nd and 10. Not much room and not many yards.
And now the Cowboys are in that red zone again, and the last time they were there, they got there because of Kevin Smith's interception, but this is where they haven't had success scoring touchdowns. Now they've kicked a lot of field goals. In fact, little Richie Cunningham, having their kicker, has kicked 10 field goals in the last 2 games. And we talk about the red zone. Here's what we're talking about. Inside the 20. Once you get from the 20-yard line going in, that's a red zone. So what you have is you have 20 yards to run and you have 30 yards to pass. And more teams are mixing up defenses and playing zone defenses in this area.
There's fake to blitz. That time Aikman just barely gets rid of it. He's in the grasp of Brian Cox. Slipped away from him. Hurried to the throw. And they'll settle for field goal again.
And that's the thing that they've been doing too much in their case this year, is settling for field goal. But again, that is excellent Bear defense.
Yep.
I mean, you know, you can't say they have to settle because Brian Cox made him throw that ball away and no one blocked Brian Cox, and Brian Cox was able to get in there and make him throw the ball when he didn't want to.
The NFL's leading scorer, Richie Cunningham, tied for the lead when the day started, is good again. A lot of questions in Dallas about who would be the kicker after Bonio left, but they've had no problem.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Texaco, a world of energy. And by Pizza Hut. Wouldn't it be great to enjoy today's game with a great pizza from Pizza Hut?
That's Big Tex in the background. Texas State Fair opened here last Friday.
What were those big horns those guys were carrying? Those weren't tubas, were they?
Yeah.
No, were they?
Yeah. Exactly right.
You have to be a big old guy to carry a big old tuba.
Big Tex.
And you have to march with a tuba?
He's a big old guy.
I've seen a tuba in a long time.
Bobby Ingram may throw the ball back across the field, trying to set up the return. The ball is loose. That was almost disaster. But not very pretty.
Well, we knew that the Bears were going to do those kind of things, and I think that's an old Jimmy Johnson thing that Dave Wanstead learned. That anytime you're outmanned, you got to have momentum breakers. You have to have the tricks, and a good place to have tricks is in the kicking game. And they haven't tried it. That was the first real trick that they've tried.
Rick Meyer, first quarter 5 out of 5. Since then, he's 2 out of 7 for a -1. So he started very confidently, very composed. But so far, nothing much has happened here in the second half or in the second quarter. Raymond Harris.
Yeah, and I think it's easy. I think it's easy to say that they have to start throwing the ball, and they're going to have to. But I think before they do that, they have to have some field position. I think that sometimes you can say, well, they have to do this, they have to do that, but you have to have field position to do it, because the last time they tried to do it without field position, remember what happened? That's when Kevin Smith picked off that slant.
You have to have somebody get open too.
Well, and and they probably do if they were out in the midfield. They could probably, they ran some outs on Kevin Smith. They can get some crossing patterns, some of those kind of things, but not down in this area.
Meyer outside to Raymond Harris, and Darren Woodson takes him out of bounds and makes the tackle.
See, Darren Woodson is so good that he can be that 8th guy up if you run and play like a linebacker, and then if you go to pass, he can cover like a defensive back. But the biggest thing about him is he's a great tackler. And that's the thing. Remember in college at Arizona State, he was a linebacker, and I think that's a big plus. When you get a linebacker who can run like that and you can make a safety out of him, you got something real special.
3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers for the Bears, and let's see if they can protect for Rick Meyer. He throws high and out of bounds. Bobby Ingram makes the catch, but it's about 5 yards short of the first down. Why throw it?
Yeah, well, that's his problem with this West Coast offense and the timing thing, and that's the second time they've done that. You know, if you're not going to get up beyond the first down marker, why even throw the ball? I mean, they get a pass and then they still have to punt anyway, even if they would have caught that thing.
Todd Sauerbrunn back to punt. Line drive kick, and Deion Sanders can make things happen, although nothing happened that time. Good coverage by the Bears. Sean Harris down to make the stop on Deion.
As you may have read on the internet,
8:04 left in the third quarter. The Cowboys over the Bears 10-3.
There's Chris Zorich, Pat, number 97, in there for the first time. And out with an injured thumb. Activated today and is in there for his first play. A real favorite in Chicago.
Yes, sir. Here's Aikman. Michael Irvin out of bounds. That's the first down.
Yeah, and this is a timing rhythm quarterback receiver that we're talking about. You see, here's Michael Irvin out here, and he's going to run it out. You see, he plants that right foot, and then when he goes to cross over, the ball's going to be right there. And see, Aikman doesn't throw it when he's out there. Aikman throws it even before he breaks. And then Michael Irvin breaks, turns, and the ball is right there.
Sherman Williams is the tailback for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith is out of the game. Sherman Williams. Irvin makes the catch inside the Bear 25 and fights his way to the 23. Manga made the stop.
Yeah, the Cowboys are starting to get a little pass protection for Troy Aikman, and now he can get in a rhythm. Here's Michael Irvin here. He's going to run down, and then he's going to come right inside. They call this a skinny post. And again, the minute that left foot hits and he breaks that, and he's going to make that break, Troy Aikman throws the ball. You see, he drops back there. He's clean. He throws the ball before Michael Irvin makes the inside move of the skinny post.
Sherman Williams down to the 20. A little extra effort gets him 2 or 3 yards.
That was one of the things that they thought maybe the Cowboys ought to do, is get Sherman Williams in there a little and give Emmitt Smith a little break to keep him fresh. And I don't know that that's Emmitt Smith's problem. I don't know that he's not fresh, unless you say that over the 8 years, an 8-year veteran, that he's taken a heck of a lot of hits and they're trying to free him up from that. But I think that if they put Emmitt Smith in there now, I think he would run a lot better.
Aikman, and nobody picked up Barry Minter.
Barry Minter, again, the same thing. And you talk about halftime adjustments, and you figure the Cowboys have finally figured that out, and it's Barry Minter. And again, he's not doing anything. He's right here, and he's just going to come straight up the middle. Now, maybe it's a little delay, but right up here, you got to count him. And he ran right by Nate Newton. Nate Newton had one on his outside and one of his inside, and he didn't block either guy. But that's the worst thing that can happen to a quarterback, is when that pressure comes right in his face, because there's no way he can get away from it, or is there anything he can do about it except take it.
Here they come again with pressure up the middle. He gets rid of it, and he can burn them like this. Aikman to Irvin. Aikman's second touchdown pass of the day. Irvin takes it into the end zone.
Well, that's what they say about the blitz. When you sell out on the blitz, you can get burned. It took them a long time to burn them, but they finally got it on this drive. And again, that was all Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and their timing. Here they're going to get the blitz. Now Troy Aikman knows that he's getting the blitz. He feels it. He ought to look at his left hand. He's pointing out there and telling Michael Irvin, run it right now. I don't have much time. But since there was no safety in the middle because of the blitz, he could lead Michael Irvin to the inside.
Both the safeties were up in Aikman's face. Cunningham's extra point good. And the Cowboys, on a touchdown by Michael Irvin, lead the Bears.
got a special treat for you.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. Now, don't be late, honey.
You see, when everyone's packed in here, this gives Michael Irvin a perfect area. And this is all timing. This whole drive was timing between Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. Troy Aikman knows there's no one in the middle, and he just leads Michael Irvin right in there. But he did that whole drive was on timing, where he was throwing the ball before Michael Irvin got there, but knowing where he was going to be.
He threw the touchdown pass while he was backing up, too. Knocked out of bounds by Darren Woodson, who is also an excellent special teams player.
Hey, what's our good buddy done? He thinks he can meet that girl.
Timing routes between Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. And here's what a timing route is. When the quarterback is three-step, the wide receiver, Michael Irvin, is at a break point, but he throws it at the target. So he's down about 3 yards on the break point. Now, if a five-step drop, then the break point is going to be a little deeper. And then again, when he's at this point, Troy Aikman throws to that point or the target. Then you have the seven-step drop. Now, when he's seven-step, this break point will be a little deeper. But again, the ball isn't thrown to the break point. The ball is always thrown to the target. So you have a three-step, five-step, seven-step drop, a break point, and a target. And that last drive, Troy Aikman was perfect on his targets.
Bears 1st and 10. Meyer back to throw it. Has time. Gets it to rookie Prohl. And Prohl at about the 33.
Let's watch this again. Here's what Troy Aikman is. He sees all these safeties come up there all bunched up. He points to Michael Irvin and tells him to run that slant, but not only run the slant, run it quickly, because they got more guys than we can block.
And he threw it while he was retreating. It wasn't even a three-step drop. 2nd and 4. Meyer gets to Harris. Gets a couple. That'll make 3rd and 2. The Bears have had a tough time all year long on 3rd down conversion.
Well, you know, they don't like Myra had 6 pass completions, and the longest gain was 4 yards. I mean, you know, but at some point your passing game has to get the ball up the field. I mean, you can't just keep throwing none and 1 and 2 and 3 yard passes. You have to get the ball up the field.
Back to throw it. And he does get the first down to Ricky Prohl.
Pass is complete to Ricky Prohl.
At about the 45, and he retreated a couple of yards. Clock running, 4:05 left to play in the 3rd quarter. The Cowboys 17, Dallas, the Bears 3.
Yeah, I think what happened, I think in the first half, I think the Bears were just trying to keep the game going and stay close. And now when the Cowboys scored 2 touchdowns, now they know that they just, you know, ball control and those things in defense, especially, are nice. But now we need a touchdown. Now we got to score a touchdown if we're going to be in this game.
Now you can't just keep it close because it's no longer close. And here's Rick Meyer back to throw. Pass complete. Now they say out of bounds, I believe. Chris Penn made the reception. Flag on the play. Holding against the Bears. Forget about whether he's in bounds or not.
Yeah, I think that everything that can go wrong with the Bears and Dave Wannstedt is probably going wrong. They have 6 different starters on this offense than they had when the season started. That and these penalties just kill them.
Holding offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Big cat. James Williams.
Yeah, he's right here. He's blocking against Tony Tolbert. That's been a pretty good match all day. Big Cat has kind of had his way over there with Tony Tolbert. It looked like Tolbert was grabbing him, though, too. That's a tough thing. You got to block a guy like Tolbert. And you're doing your best, and he's grabbing you, and then you both go down, and they call holding on you.
1st and 20. 2 tight ends. Ryan Wetnight was the man in motion. The protection is there for Meyer for a while anyway. But only for a while as Tony Casillas tripped him up. And right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Pat, the Raiders had trailed by 14 points, 14-0, 21 unanswered points. Jeff George finds James Jett in the corner of the end zone. 2-point conversion is good, and Oakland is on top by 7. That in the third quarter. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
At Texas Stadium, it's 17-3 Cowboys over the Bears with just 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter, and the Bears trying to make something happen. And Raymond Harris is about the only player they've had who makes things happen, but he can't do it this time as Randall Godfrey leads the defensive charge. Andy Heck, the starting left tackle for the Bears, is out of the game with cramps, we've just been informed. So that's another one down.
Yeah, I thought it was warmer down there. You know, we had a report earlier that it's only 80 degrees, but down there on that field and the way the players were looking, it looked like they were getting a little tired. And then, of course, then you're tired, then you get the sweat, and then the sweating, then you get the cramps.
3rd and 21. Cowboys going with a 3-man front. That's all they rush. Meyer has time to pass. Deflected by 2 or 3 Cowboys, almost picked off by another one. Kevin Smith got a hand on it.
Was almost picked off by Bully Billy Bates. Bates was out there. He's the special teams guy. He's the nickel linebacker. He got a jump on that thing, and he looked like Bates of about 14 years ago.
He's been playing 15.
There is an amazing guy.
Yep.
Amazing.
Bates and Sanders. You can use that expression. This is Deion.
He got one here.
He said there's always a crease. Trying to throw it through the hole in the roof.
And didn't reach it.
Not even close.
Yeah, I had the feeling, though, yesterday that he was going to get one of these.
Yeah,
we talked to him about when he looks forward, he said it's just one guy. He said if he can beat the one guy, he said there's always a crease, and all he has to do is find it. He was upset with that last punt because Sauerbrunn had a short punt, and he thought he should have had a return then. And knowing Deion Sanders, he said, I'm going to get one the next punt.
Cunningham for the extra point. He is exciting. And he can play. Whatever he does very well.
Calling card just for coming in.
Win communications for life?
Don't even think about it.
The new Sprint store at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
David Cohn and the Yankees take on Oral Hershiser and the Indians. The American League Division Series begins Tuesday on Fox. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
(24-3). Deion Sanders punt return over 80 yards. It's just a matter of time, you knew, before he broke one. And as you said, John, I had a feeling yesterday.
And all he said was he needs one seam, and if he sees that, he's gonna get one, and he saw that one seam.
Deion Sanders spoke to us yesterday when we were talking to him about the prospect of returning punts against the Bears.
I'm thinking that, man, I hope he gets a good kickoff so I can have some room to separate from the defense and make something happen. And I'm just looking for one seam, one crack, and it's always one. It's just if you're able to hit that one, it's going to be some beautiful thing.
Well, he had that one. You could see it there. The first one was those two outside guys didn't get there. Then they had one guy in the middle forming a triangle, and his angle was between that triangle.
Eric Kramer is now the Bear quarterback. 1st and 10 at their own 16. Kramer gives to Raymond Harris.
Dave Wanstead said yesterday that he might do this, that if things weren't going well, that he would put Eric Kramer in. He said, but then he would bring Rick Meyer back to next week.
Yep.
Rick Meyer would still be a starter, but you just can't sit there and let things go badly and leave the quarterback in there and not bring in a Kramer. Although I think if you knew you were going to bring in Kramer, I would have brought him in, a couple of series ago.
It's a tough choice to make. If you take one guy out, you destroy his confidence.
And Rick Meyer,
if he had any.
Yeah, Rick Meyer doesn't have any confidence.
Eric Kramer won't have much. Tony Tolbert takes him down.
They're trying to sprint out or go to that side, and Tony Tolbert again got penetration to the side of the sprint.
This game summary brought to you by Budweiser. Michael Irvin has 6 catches, 105 yards, a touchdown. Sanders just returned the punt, 83 yards. Raymond Harris has 86 of Chicago's total of 148 yards. Aikman has 2 touchdowns.
And the guy that got it all started for him was Kevin Smith with that first interception. That got the Cowboys their first score.
Way back in the first half. Kramer just misses. Chris Penn. And Kramer has a bloody nose, 1 series.
Yeah, well, that was that shot that he took from Tolbert. Remember, he went to sprint out to the right. Tony Tolbert is a left defensive end. He got up the field, and Kramer was sprinting right into Tolbert, and he let him have it just as he threw it.
And Sanders goes back deep again. He just returned 183 yards.
Do you think he has enough gas in that tank to return another one?
Oh, yeah.
Because the way Sauerbrunn, he's running up to cover. There's no one covering the guy. There's no one back. There's no one out here to cover this guy.
I see what he's doing. They could throw it to that guy.
And now they could punt it, and there's no return guy back there. They're just going to have to let it go.
And the ball goes out of bounds. There's a poor kick by Sauerbrunn, went out of bounds. There was nobody back for the Cowboys. Sanders actually did this wise thing.
Well, he had to, because the guy who was split out, there was no one covering him. Sauerbrunn just could have stepped up and just thrown the ball out there. So then when Deion saw that, he ran up to cover him. And then, of course, that left no return guy back there.
I can't imagine they had nobody out covering the Bears punt returner. Here's how Eric Kramer got the nose.
Remember, this is Tony Tolbert right here. Tony Tolbert just got that left hand inside of Eric Kramer's face mask. That was that play we talked about where he tried to sprint to that side of Tony Tolbert. Tolbert got up the field, and the old whack inside the face mask.
This is Emmitt Smith. Emmitt gets about 3 yards. End of the third quarter approaching. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Cowboys leading the Bears. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
November.
24-3. The Cowboys leading the Bears, and the Bears unable since the first quarter to get anything going on offense. Actually, their defense has done a pretty good job.
Well, they came in here with 2 objectives. They were going to stop Emmitt Smith and get after Troy Aikman, and I'll tell you, for the better part of this game, they did a great job.
There's Troy Aikman down again, pursued by Carl Simpson.
You know, they're having trouble with those inside guys. Sometimes it's the blitzing guy, and sometimes it's a tackle, and we've seen it all day. Here's Simpson here, and you just see that he's just going to come through and just get the penetration. You see Nate Newton steps down, Tuanay steps out, and they just let him run right by him. I mean, that has happened the whole game. I mean, whether it was Carl Simpson, or it's been Jim Flanagan a number of times, or sometimes it's been Barry Minter.
And it's not been them beating somebody. They've just been running loose, running free.
I don't know if they're not counting the guys or if someone, they have some calls or something, but something's fouled up.
Aikman gets it to Emmitt Smith. He has hurt it out of bounds. They might have gotten a yard out of that. Anthony Marshall took Emmitt down.
I think as you watch the Cowboys, until they put that out, until they put that fire out, I mean, there's a fire started.
Yep.
And the fire for their offense is the blitz. They cannot pick up the blitz, and that's the way to beat the Cowboy offense now. And they've had it 3 consecutive games, and until they put that fire out, they're going to get it the rest of the year.
From everybody. The Eagles successful against them with it. So were the Cardinals in the second half. Good kick. Bounds through the end zone. So the Bears will take over. Eric Kramer remains the quarterback.
I prefer them up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
All right.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new 1998 Toyota Corolla. My, how things have changed. Toyota every day. By Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor. And by Visa, the official card of the NFL that's everywhere you want to be.
We're back in Irving, Texas, where the Cowboys lead the Bears 24-3. Texas Stadium. 1st and 10 Bears at their own 20. Eric Kramer, the quarterback. Andy Heck is back at left tackle. Kramer back to throw it. That's incomplete. Chris Penn. A person, I wouldn't say dear, but very treasured as an acquaintance by a lot of people. Abe Gibran, former Bears coach, passed away early this week.
Watch the screen! Watch the reverse! Pass! Flea flicker! Watch everything!
Watch everything, and Abe did. Quickest guy off the ball you ever saw.
And Abe was, you know, one of those guys, when you think of Chicago Bear football, you think of Papa Bear, George Halas, you think of Dick Butkus, you think of Abe Gibran. I mean, Abe Gibran was kind of Chicago and the Bears and kind of what football was all about. And if it weren't for the guys like Abe Gibran starting it, you kind of wonder where the rest of us would be today.
That's Allred, the Bear, who's down.
Field is hiding their secret identity.
I don't have to listen to these wild allegations.
And all new Simpsons tonight at 8, 7 Central.
James Allred was the Bears' top draft choice the past draft. And your legs are not supposed to bend like this.
Yeah, watch that left leg. Oof. That is an ugly sight.
Yeah, they're bringing out the cart to take him off. That.
And when you see all the other players around, you know, I mean, players want to win. You want to beat the other guy, but when someone gets one like that, every player is concerned. It's not just his teammates on the Bears, but you know, look at all these Cowboys around there, and there's concern for John Allred by everyone, because you know, no one wants to see anyone get hurt. You really don't.
Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Pat, St. Louis Rams hurting themselves. 9 penalties of 98 yards. Pass interference call, set the ball up at the 1. Kaufman takes it over for the score. Oakland on top of the Rams, 28-14. Let's take it back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
And here at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys on top, 24-3 over the Bears. 13-16 left to play in the game. This was a guy the Bears were very impressed with, had high hopes for. Is a guy, I should say. He's not through by all means.
Rookie out of USC.
Yeah.
And Dave Wanstead was just talking about him last night, how eventually he was going to be their starting tight end.
Every down.
wanted to get him more and more into the game because he could do it all. He could do the blocking and the catching. And that look on his face tells it all.
3rd and 2 at their own 28. 4 wide receivers for the Bears. Raymond Harris, the deep back. Ingram in motion. Kramer back to throw it. Pressure. Pass picked off by Woodson. And Darren Woodson.
Darren Woodson has played himself a heck of a game. He fumbled there at the end, and Omar Stoutmeyer came in and recovered the fumble for him. But Woodson's been all over. I mean, he's been up there against the run. He's been there against the pass. He's been on special teams. Watch him. I mean, he just reads this thing, just gets a jump on it, and then he just takes off with it. Looks like he was going to lateral to someone. And one thing you better do there is take a little better care of that football.
He's all over the place every week.
And I think, you know, I was at a high school football game the other night, and a kid asked me, he said, who's the hardest hitter in the league? And, you know, because I was down here in Dallas at the high school game, I said, Darren Woodson. And I think, I may be right.
You might be. Emmitt Smith. Inside the 10. Emmitt out of bounds at the 3.
You don't think Emmitt could smell that end zone as he was coming there? There's no one who wanted to get in there worse than Emmitt Smith did.
Tom Carter took him out of bounds. 1st and goal with the 3 for the Cowboys.
And he still wants to get in. You know, we've talked about Emmitt Smith hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year. And you know that right now he's looking at that end zone. There's nothing he can do about it because Tom Carter wasn't going to let him make that last cut to get in there. Tom Carter took away that cutback angle that would let him get inside that pylon.
He'll get another try here, I would imagine. Here's Emmitt. And he won't get in this time either. A loss of a couple back to the 5. John Mangum standing right in the hole, knocked him backwards.
If you see the difference is the penetration now. Is they never used to get penetration against the Cowboys. And now when you get down there, they're going to do 2 things. They're going to knock Troy Aikman down, and they're going to get penetration. They're going to make the line of scrimmage back here instead of here. And watch how they all get in there, and they all get in the backfield. You see right here, when Emmitt Smith is going there, there are about 4 or 5 Chicago Bears on his side of the line of scrimmage. And if they're on your side of the line of scrimmage, I don't care who you are as a runner, you don't have a chance.
2nd goal at the 5. Aikman back to throw. Tried to loft it high in the end zone in the direction of Bjornsson, but he didn't have time. Aikman was knocked down.
Yeah, and the Bears still have that same defensive game plan. They're gonna stop Emmitt Smith with run blitzes, and they're gonna knock Troy Aikman down every time he goes to throw the ball. But you hear again the blitz. Anytime they're going to do it, they got the guy coming free from the outside and coming free up the middle. Troy Aikman doesn't even see the guy who's going to throw it to.
3rd and goal from the 5. 2 tight ends. Bears showing blitz. Aikman flips to LaFleur, I believe, who couldn't hang on.
Well, and the Cowboys' problems in the red zone continue.
Here comes the field goal unit.
And it's the same thing. Aikman, you know, being able to get set there. He's just throwing the ball. John Mangum had good coverage. I mean, there was nothing there. I think one thing they want to do with LaFleur, you know, because he's so tall, at 6'7", is maybe throw that ball up there in the air, as Barry Switzer says, where no one else plays, but Troy Aikman didn't get it that high.
Somebody else is playing there. The field goal by Cunningham is good. And the Cowboy lead is 27-3. Cowboys over the Bears 27-3, 11:22 left to play. Cowboys pretty well in control of things now. As Toby Goin will kick off. Emmitt Smith, 13 carries, 43 yards. And I don't know, it's just has to be frustrating to Emmett. He has to be wondering, what am I doing wrong? Am I what I was?
I think part of it's him and part of it's his blocking and part of it's the defenses, because if you look, here's a line of scrimmage, and today he's run the ball 13 times for 43 yards. 7 of those times his first hit has been beyond the line of scrimmage, and he's gained 30 yards after the first hit. Now that's pretty good, but here's where the problem lies, is here's a line of scrimmage, and 6 times his first hit has been behind the line of scrimmage. So if you get hit in your own backfield, then that means you don't get a chance to get started. And that's his problem. He, you know, and that's what happened down here in the goal line. They got him in the backfield before he could get started.
The Bears get to Raymond Harris. Back on the subject of Emmitt Smith, maybe it's, we saw him so many times when all of a sudden he'd pop through the defensive line and flash into the backfield and be gone for at least first down yardage or to the end zone, whichever the case might be. Maybe we got so used to seeing that, and defense has changed, as you said, and the offensive line changes, as you said.
And you know, and the offensive line and changing. I mean, they're older. I mean, Tuane and Nate Newton. You know, they aren't young anymore. They don't have a center like they used to have. Larry Allen's hurt. I mean, the Cowboys aren't the Cowboys that they used to be.
Raymond Harris gets the carry out to the 30, about a yard short of the first down.
And even today, their best offense has been their defense. I mean, you know, we talked earlier that you know, it was Kevin Smith who got an interception on this last one. It was Darren Woodson got an interception, got it down there, and you know, the defense is making things happen. This Cowboy offense isn't making anything happen, but again, the Bears are the same type of team without as much talent, but their offense isn't making anything happen, and their defense is.
It is a Bear first down. Ingram was the man in motion. They give again to Harris. Harris bangs for a couple. Well, nothing stays the same, I know, but
and the Bears just don't have enough good players. I mean, that's their problem. I mean, you know, you say they ought to open it up, but who do you open it up to? I mean, Bobby Ingram is small and not fast. Ricky Prohl, you know, he isn't going to scare you. They picked up Chris Penn from Kansas City. They picked up Eric Smith, you know, off the Kansas City practice squad. So those are the kind of guys that they're playing with. I mean, Raymond Harris is a player and a threat.
Yep.
But other than that, they don't have a lot of threats.
Kramer fakes to Harris. Pass caught by Ingram. Another Bear first down. Fake to Harris. Harris has 100 yards.
And then, you know, the other thing, when you get in that quarterback thing, I've always said that any time you say you have 2 or 3, that means you have none. Because if you really have one, if you have a quarterback, there's no doubt. I mean, look at Dallas. I mean, Troy Aikman is, you know, you go up to Denver, you know, that's John Elway. And I mean, you know who your quarterback is. Green Bay, it's Brett Favre. Here, you don't know, and Dave Wanstead's going to have to go through that again now, you know, next week. Who's going to start?
Harris. It's a good block by Carter in front and gets another Bear first down. Raymond Harris, he has been the bright spot this season for the Bears. He was supposed to be a co-running back. Now he's taking the whole load.
When he was going to be the co-running back, he was going to be more of a fullback and a pass receiver, but he's a runner. And Raymond Harris is a man. I mean, you know, if you wanted to take a player with you off of this Bear team, I would take Raymond Harris.
Remember when we used to talk to defensive coordinators before they played the Cowboys? And you'd ask them what they thought they had to do, and they'd say, we got to control number 22. Few people say that anymore.
Well, I think that they still do, but it's, I mean, they're all doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, they say they have to do it. They used to say they had to do it and they couldn't do it. Now they say they have to do it and they do it. And then, of course, then that makes the Cowboys have to pass, and then they just go after Troy Aikman and knock him down. Don't let him get in a rhythm, and then you have a chance to play him that way. But in doing so, your offense has to play better than the Bear offense played today.
2nd and 10. Darnell Autry is the runner this time. And he gets the carry. Autry. Hugging the ball, gets about 8 or 9 yards. Broderick Thomas brought him down.
You know, the guy that's playing left defensive end now for Tony Tolbert is Kavika Pittman. I was at practice the other day, and Charles Haley was there, and Charles Haley was always one of my favorite players and one of my favorite people, and he's working with Kavika Pittman, and he says that he thinks that he can be as good as any of them.
He's got the tools.
Of all the players, he really likes him. He's only in his second year, but he said he listens and he has quickness and toughness and speed, and he's going to be a player.
Kramer gives to Autry, and Autry gets a Bear first down. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director is Mike Roig. The broadcast associates are Fran Morrison and Charles McDonald. Technical producer is Bob Muller. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
Easy! Blue 55 Colorado!
Eric Kramer, the quarterback.
Here comes the Colorado.
Kramer, incomplete. No flag.
And Eric Kramer audibleized that.
Yep.
Well, Colorado to both sides. Penn ran a Colorado. Kevin Smith knew he was going to run a Colorado, and he was there when the Colorado got there.
James Williams, the Bears' right tackle, had been over getting his ankle retaped on the sideline. He just re-entered the game. Now that's a big person. Big Cat goes about 340.
Yeah, I mean that's a job for a defensive lineman, just getting around Big Cat.
Kramer throws it outside to Ryan Wentnight, who turns it upfield to about the 25-yard line. Every time the Bears think they've got their tight end problems, if their problems solved, and they thought John Allred was well on his way to doing that, something happens. And today you saw Allred get doubled.
Yeah, and then they had the one speed guy receiver was Curtis Conway, and then he's injured, so you end up with non-speed guys.
Kramer on the sprint out to Wentnight again, and he got a first down, I believe, by about a yard. There's Chris Zorich seeing his first activity today.
He didn't see much activity,
No.
though, did he?
No.
He came in there for a couple plays, and we didn't see him much after that. But Chris Zorich is one of those guys who's a good guy, that gives back to the community. And I think the NFL needs more Chris Zoriches that are football players and role models and doing things and giving and the spirit of the whole thing.
Not just the NFL. Everybody needs more. Pass incomplete. Penn, the intended receiver.
That's Wendell Davis over there now.
Deion Sanders getting a rest.
Deion Sanders came over the play before that and took Kevin Smith's place, and then Kevin Smith came back in and Deion Sanders went out, and Wendell Davis has taken his place. And of course, they saw Deion go out and they saw Wendell Davis go over there, and so the first pass they throw is
Doesn't take
on
long.
Wendell. It doesn't take long, no. When you're a quarterback and you first come in, you're a marked cornerback.
2nd and 10. Here's Kramer back to throw it. Inside the 10 is Keith Jennings, who doesn't make a lot of receptions, is sort of the blocking tight end for the Bears, but did make that reception. He weighs about 280. This game's presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL is prohibited.
I think the Bears are moving now, and everyone could say, why didn't you do this the whole game? Play Kramer and do this the whole game. Well, the defense wasn't playing like this the whole game either.
A little bit different picture. Kramer. Miscommunication. Chris Penn. Kramer threw it to the corner. Penn just watched it sail over his head.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with free agency in this league. We talk about timing and you know, and the timing and the rhythm, and you know, that the quarterback needs with the receivers, and the running back needs with the offensive line, and the offensive line needs to pick up blitzes. And when you don't have people that have been working together for a long time, you don't do any of those things.
As illustrated by Aikman and Irvin. They've been doing that for a long time. 9 years for Aikman, 8 for Irvin. Raymond Harris.
Yeah, and if Aikman and Irvin can't do it, then how do you expect Eric Kramer and Chris Penn to do it when they've probably done it in practice 10 times or something?
Actually, Michael Irvin playing in his 10th year. That's hard to believe in it. The timing between those two is something that has been worked out.
Yeah, Troy Aikman in his 9th year, and remember when both of them came into the league? Where'd time go?
Just a couple of years ago. Eric Kramer throws for the blue part of the field. Incomplete.
See, what happens is Eric Kramer got hit in the nose there by Tony Tolbert, because you have that big wide thing there because you have to be able to see. You know, like linemen will have extra bars in there. You know, they'll have bars that come down in there. He keeps moving. But anyway, they'll have bars in there that you can protect it. But then a quarterback can't do that because he has to be able to see.
Receiver or a kicker or something like that.
Yeah, and then that part that you look through to throw the ball is where a guy hammers you with his elbow.
4th and goal at the 7. Cowboys blitzing. Kramer. Tony Carter makes the catch, or doesn't.
They're going to say it's an incomplete pass. They blew the whistle before he went in there.
It hit the ground. And the Cowboys take over. You know, a guy who doesn't get a lot of recognition, a lot of credit, certainly around the NFL. I think we recognize it because we do so many Cowboy games. Is Dave Campo, the defensive coach for Dallas. He's done a great job.
Play it back, rock, rap, fast food.
Given are of your honor, your courage, and your commitment. This is your journey. It's time you got underway. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
I'm the road to Canterbury. Hello, dear. Thank you. Of course, you Americans hate the rain. Oh, it's too wet and scary. Mommy won't let me come out and play.
The road is calling, and the 1998 ES300 with front-wheel drive and available traction control will help you answer it.
Not bad, but you're on the wrong side of the road!
It's coming.
Come on, bring it on.
Hold on to your drawers.
No!
It's the King of the Hill that'll blow you away tonight after The Simpsons on Fox.
Back at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys with Wade Wilson now their quarterback, leading 27-3. Herschel Walker's the fullback. Sherman Williams the tailback. For those of you expecting to see the world's funniest, it'll be seen following football, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regular time. We're at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys struggled early, but now have a comfortable lead over the Bears, 27-3. Aikman's day was 12 out of 27, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I think offensively they really struggled all day, and they were helped by their defense, the field position, and their special teams.
Couple of interceptions. That's Sherman Williams. Outside the 20. Here are some of the Cowboys scores. This is Aikman to Anthony Miller, who just walked in. That was their first touchdown.
That was set up by an interception.
And Aikman to Michael Irvin.
That was that all-out blitz. Troy Aikman audibleized to that one. And how about this one?
83 yards. The number 21 is Deion Sanders.
All he said he had to have was one little crease, and if he had one little crease, he could score a touchdown. He had a crease, and he scored a touchdown.
He said, all I need to do is find it. Sherman Williams taken down in the backfield, hit before he had a chance by Carl Reeves.
Carl Reeves is a guy who's playing for Alonzo Spellman today. Alonzo Spellman didn't even make the trip. Carl Reeves really played pretty well.
2 minutes left.
Miller Lite presents.
You might not believe this, but a cheesehead actually saved my life. I was flying home from a Packer game in a small airplane and we crashed. The wings iced up and the plane went down. If it weren't for my cheesehead cushioning the impact, I would have been killed. The doctors tell me I'm a very lucky man. Tell me about it. I have season tickets.
Dick, the creator of Miller Lite Advertising, has great news for all football fans. This year, Miller Lite is an official beer sponsor of the NFL. That means that this season will be better than last season. Remember that woman with the huge hair who sat down in front of you while you were trying to watch the game? Well, that's not going to happen this year. Dick says, if you like that, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay tuned.
Right now at Kinko's great presentation sale, when you buy one transparency, you get the second free. That goes for binding and computer time too. But time is running out, so check your paper for more great deals and be sure to hurry in soon.
All they want is someone to go down for the crime.
For 2 out-of-control cops.
The man in the car is DEA undercover.
The best place to hide
We're gonna find the killer.
is behind a badge.
We are the killers.
Gang-related. Rated R. Starts October 8th. A deadly secret that strikes without warning and lives in every one of us. An all-new Millennium, Friday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
Oh, excuse me. 27-3. That's the Texas State Fair, which opened last Friday. Wade Wilson, the ball's loose, bouncing around. The Bears hurried into the end zone, and they're saying touchdown, and the officials are waving their arms.
You know, and that was Barry Minter again that caused it. I don't think they're going to give him a touchdown.
I don't think so.
But Barry Minter.
Number 68, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
We were just saying how well Carl Reeves has played. He's the guy that jumped off sides, but I thought Barry Minter was the guy that caused that fumble again. Here's Reeves. He's right here. Watch Minter here. You see Reeves did step. Minter didn't. But I think when they saw Minter come up, I think they snapped the ball too soon. That was Carl Reeves. You know, that it's been so bad with those pre-snap penalties that last week Dave Wanstad had a group of officials come for the first time and officiate their practice. And just to make them aware of those kinds of things.
Second down and 9. Wade Wilson gives to Sherman Williams, who gets up to about the 28-29 yard line, stopped by Marty Carter.
That's how you can tell the score is 27-3 with 1:43 left without even looking at this thing up here. You know, if you just erase that, all you'd have to do is look at Michael Irvin.
Look at his left elbow.
Taking off his back. Yeah, he left that. I know where that skin
Pittsburgh.
went. Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
Right.
That's on the turf in Pittsburgh. He left that on about the 20-yard line going to the left.
That probably won't get well until the season's over.
Oh, they've been probably playing baseball on that skin and more football games practicing.
Sherman Williams again. Sifting his way for a yard. Not quite a first down. The Cowboys will have it up. Less than a minute.
Yeah, I think that Deion, the only thing that he had to be stopped from being bored was punt returns.
That's what he said. Coming up, the post-game report. Scores around the league. Fox Sports ticker. Up to the minute information. Deion did us a favor. Going back to punt again. Tyrone Hughes retreats inside the 10. Will try from there. The Cowboys, they'll do an excellent job on special teams no matter what the score is. They still cover.
Well, folks, Doug is the man. Doug took this place global. Doug made commitments around the world. Doug convinced me to risk it all. And it was Doug who shipped everything with some company I'd never heard of. Screwed the whole thing up. And that's why Doug is locked up in the closet. Hello? You okay in there, buddy?
Next time, make it FedEx, the most reliable express company there is.
Can I come out now? No, Doug. I'm not finished singing your praises.
Don't forget tonight on Fox, the world's funniest, The Simpsons, King of the Hill, and The X-Files. 21 seconds left to play at Texas Stadium. Cowboys will make their record 3-1. The Bears will be 0-5 as the pass is caught going out of bounds by Ricky Prohl. Stops the clock with 17 seconds left.
You know, and you look at the Bears, and you know that Dave Wannstedt and his coaching staff are just doing everything that they can, but again, I just don't feel they have the players, and you wonder if it's ever going to get any better or what's going to make it better. I mean, I don't think it's, you know, players having team meetings and those kind of things, because it's not about effort. I mean, they come out here and they play and they give it everything they got. They just don't have enough.
And you don't get a lot of enough in a hurry. Woodson looked like he had the interception, and then it was taken away from him. Raymond Harris.
Darren Woodson probably plays more snaps than anyone on the Cowboy team.
Like Broderick Thomas might have gotten hurt on that last play. Final score here at Texas Stadium is Dallas 27, the Bears 3.
Me, I'm the lonesome kicker. Extra points, field goals at your service. One might think it comes with glory. You might think different after you listen to my story. My helmet is equipped with a tiny face mask. What it possibly could protect, I do not know. The other guys on the team like to make fun of my little shoulder pads, and also like to hide the special shoe I need to kick in the snow. People think it's so easy to kick a field goal from the 30-yard line. They forget to add 7 yards for the snap and 10 more because the goalposts are pushed way back. In 1974, the uprights were right on the goal line, but some of the players were running into them and getting hurt. So screw the kicker. Who cares about the kicker?